This is to recognize what your psychological complexes are. And if you're a puella eternus, like other examples of puella eterni are like people who are afraid of commitment, right? You're dating someone, you're like, you think there's something better out there. No one is ever good enough. Like all that kind of stuff is there. It's not men, women, both. The reason I'm sharing this stuff is not to make these people feel bad. It's if you identify with this, there is a way out. There's an incredible frustration and negativity with yourself if you are a puella eternus or a puella eternus. And it's buried deep. And if you're not careful, the fantasy will continue. You will continue to blame other people, right? But you've got to accept responsibility. And by responsibility, what I mean is you have to close doors. Like the concept of like, what if this person isn't right for me, and being unwilling to commit, you still have to commit, right? A committed relationship is not about selecting the right person. It is about you and this, it's about you being a wrong person and this other person being a wrong person. Both of y'all are wrong. You're not the right person. Taking two wrong people who are committed to making something work and then fucking doing the work of making it work. And the biggest problem with dating apps right now is they have sold us a subconscious idea that the right person is out there for you. The only reason you're alone is because you haven't found the right person. So you know what we're going to do? The right person is out there for you. The only reason you're alone is because you haven't found the right person. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you access to the internet. Ho ho! And once we give you access to the internet, we will tell you all these features about all these people. And then if you can find the right person, then you will be happy. And you know what we're going to do? It's been hard for you to find the right person. Oh my God, my bad. You know what I forgot? When I was telling you I could find you the right person, I forgot a height filter. So let me let you filter by height. And if you can filter by height, then you can find the right, oh shit, my bad. You can find the right person if I let you filter by height. The reason dating apps don't work very well is because they sell you a fundamentally broken premise, which is that the reason you're alone is because you can't find the right person. The reason that you're alone is you don't know how to healthily function in a relationship. And the more that you think that a successful relationship is about finding the right person instead of becoming the right, becoming the right person, it's a flawed premise. If we literally look at the research around how a successful relationship is made, it is not about partner selection. It is about what you do once you have a partner. Y'all get that? Like, it's so simple, right? Like, having a successful career is not about picking the right job. It's about the shit that you do when you show up at work. People are fundamentally more successful because you can stick them in many jobs, but their work ethic is right. And this is why some people are very successful in many relationships. And we have data that these people exist. Scary thing is that secure attachment style means that you will be successful, you will be more successful on average in any relationship compared to an avoidant attachment style or anxious attachment style. Is that fair? No. But is it true? Yes. It's about what you bring to the relationship, not the person that you select. And since we're all becoming more narcissistic, we hate this idea, right? Like, if you're single at the age of 35, the most terrifying thought is that you are responsible. I'm not saying that things aren't hard. Things are genuinely very difficult. We've got a video coming out about that soon, hopefully. But there's all kinds of changes that happened during the pandemic that have made relationships like we're all fighting an uphill battle. But it's like really scary, right? So like so this is what's so tricky about that. Things are objectively probably the hardest they've ever been in terms of finding a relationship. Like literally the hardest they've ever been. That's being reflected by things like declining birth rates, all this kind of stuff, right? The number of people who are single is like skyrocketing. Loneliness is skyrocketing. So when we look at these global trends, you can't blame an individual. There's something going on that's affecting everybody. It's hard for everybody. And at the same time, just because things are hard for everyone doesn't mean that there is not something that you can do. And the more responsibility that you take for your situation, the better off you will be. Because even though everything is getting harder, there are still plenty of people who are finding and building successful relationships. It's so interesting how it subconsciously enters my language. It's so interesting how it subconsciously enters my language. Right? Finding successful, that's the problem. That's what you build a successful relationship. You don't find one. It's built. And so what we're seeing is that even though on average everything is getting harder, there are still some people who are figuring out how to connect to other human beings. But the problem is that if a dating app emphasizes personal responsibility, they will not have users. Because that doesn't fit into this like narcissistic growth that is happening across the board of society. Right? If I was designing a dating app, it would start with 12 weeks of coaching. That's how it would start. The first thing I would do, if you want to, like, if we start an AG dating app, step number one is, are you fucking worth dating? And if not, let's analyze why. Let's analyze your attachment style. Let's analyze your narcissistic tendencies. Let's analyze like simple things like, do you leave the toilet seat up or down? Do you do dishes? Do you chew with your mouth open? Like, do you spend time on your cell phone when you're with other human beings? Let's turn you into someone who is worth dating. And then, fucking A, you can have your pick of the litter. Right? It'd be like matches? What do you mean matches? We're going to work on you first. And then what there's going to be like a tier. We have to graduate from basic fucking shit. And then once you graduate from basic fucking shit, then you get entered into a pool of other people who have graduated from basic fucking shit. And so instead of like, this is what's so bad about dating apps, right? So like if you've got one bad apple, they ruin one relationship really quickly and they're back on the market. And then they ruin the next relationship and they ruin the next relationship and they ruin the next relationship. One bad person in a dating pool can make so many people bitter so quickly. Make so many people bitter so quickly. Like they have such a toxic effect because now that you've had this shitty dude and then another shitty dude who's like incapable, like you have two guys who are incapable of relationships, they're making the rounds. And now all the women that they date are bitter and turned off of men because they've encountered two assholes. An asshole moves way further and way faster and encounters way more people in a dating pool than a decent human being. You'll get that? There's this really weird selection bias going on. And it's not just like male assholes. There's a really interesting study that shows that 50% of women on dating apps use the apps for psychological needs outside of finding partners. Validation, shitting on other people, feeling superior, all this kind of stuff. Literally. 50% of the women on dating apps, according to this one study, so take that with a grain of salt, are not even using it to find a partner, right? And if you guys have been on dating apps, you know, you're so great. Hey, follow me on Instagram. Hey, check out my OnlyFans. They're using it for needs outside of dating. And then if you encounter, and those people too are like spreading it around pretty quickly, right? They're moving pretty quickly. They're getting around. And so if you're a dude on the app, like you encounter like, for every like one decent human being you run into, you encounter a bucket of these people. And so you got to filter all those people out. This dating app would never work because people are lazy. It would work if people did it. Like it would absolutely work, right? Like we'd like do an analysis of what your shortcomings are as a human being and how to turn yourself into a desirable partner. And like, how do I know it would work? Because I know this is going to sound crazy. When I do that shit and my profession does that shit in our offices, something shocking happens. People who are chronically single end up in relationships. Holy crap. When you do psychotherapy for reactive attachment disorder, when you treat someone with BPD, who one of the diagnostic features is a history of unstable and tumultuous relationships, when you treat these people in the right way, they end up in stable relationships. Don't worry about finding your partner. Worry about becoming a partner. And this is what's really cool. Is like when you get two human beings who are focused on becoming the right partner, that's when you turn into a beautiful relationship. That's what finding a good relationship is like. Right? Like it's like wild. Like we know that this works.